Likely Westville tornado. I think with debris at this magnitude, we can just go ahead and call it that. Likely an EF2, debris being lofted 10,000 feet in the air. The higher we can get that debris, the stronger the tornado likely is. And at 10,000 feet, certainly believe that there very well could be an EF2 tornado on the ground. Zach, if you'll zoom me out just a little bit so we have both areas of concern here in the warning polygon. Prairie Grove, boy, you've had a long week and I know it. I know it. And I hate this for us all. We're probably going to have some storms move through here real soon, okay? Both of which right now are tornado warned. Let's hope it weakens before it gets there. But I want you to go ahead. If you're in Lincoln, I want you to go ahead. If you're in Prairie Grove, Morrow, probably go ahead and get ready. There's probably going to be some warnings issued for you in the next few minutes. If not 15 to 20 minutes. Supercell of Stillwell could be producing a tornado at any time. So we've got a tornado on the ground, likely an EF2 near Westville, and this one closer to Stillwell, just to the northwest side of town. If it's not producing one right now, it very well is going to be at any moment. And these storms are tracking off towards the north and east, and they're going to be moving into an environment that, and I'm going to quote the Weather Service. I'm going to scroll up so I can quote their exact words. The environment will continue to worsen for the next few hours. So our threat persists. We've got these two supercells right now producing a tornado, likely producing a tornado at any second north of Stillwell. And that's going to continue to be a concern for us as we push into the next several hours. So I'm afraid we are probably on the beginning of this event. Go ahead,
Scott. I was just looking back at the radar imagery here, and the hook, when I put it in motion, and I'll do it a little bit slower, you can see the spin here. Look at it to the southwest of Westville.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at the hook there.
Yep.
And it just continues to cycle. You could see the spin in the storm there. You can just see that classic hook signature.
Zach, if you would, I want to take me to the Stillwell storm on velocity, and let's go street level. Let's call out some streets here. Stillwell, you also have had a pretty rocky week. That Prairie Grove tornado event started there, not far from Stillwell. Let's see, what radar is that? That's going to be, something's interesting about that data.
I think.
There we go. Okay. Out of Tulsa.
This is going to be the Tulsa one.
This is our primary concern. This is where we've likely got an EF2 or greater tornado. We're calling that the Westville storm, even though it's just barely off towards the north and west. Here's our Stillwell storm. Area of rotation here. If you would, let's go zoom in. If we can go street level.
We're going to go just to the west of Peavine?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, boy, this is some areas we've been dealing with earlier today.
We're right on the edge where it wants to. We're literally between the two sites almost exactly.
That's okay. Okay, let's back out just a little bit. Let's back out.
And that signature to the northwest of Westville just continues to get stronger.
That's a really, really tight area of rotation. If you would, I'm going to put my finger on both areas of rotation here. Zach, if you would, turn on debris. Let's see if anything matches up.
Clear signature about to cross Highway 59.
That is a very, very large tornado in size. In strength, we know it's at times in recent minutes have probably been at least an EF2, getting ready to cross 59. Not seeing any debris right now west of Peavine, north of Stillwell. That's not to say that might not happen at any moment. That storm's trying to get its act together. It's becoming more organized. We're north of 51, west of 59 at the moment. This is moving off towards the east-northeast. Folks in Westville, gosh, I hate to say it, but much like in Christie, you're going to need to stay in those shelters, okay? Let's let the second area of the southernmost rotation pass through the area. You've got two dual threats. You're in between both of them, and that's going to create some concern for us. We're getting really close to that Oklahoma-Arkansas state line. If you could, back me off towards the west just a little bit. Let's get a lot more of Arkansas on this map, if you will. There we go, perfect. I don't want it. We're going to stay here. Thank you, though. The area of rotation right here, getting ready to move into northwestern Washington County. This is north of Lincoln. This storm, eventually staying on the current track, might take that close to Fayetteville, close to Springdale, perhaps into the Rogers area. This one has shown some signs of turning a little bit towards the right and a little bit of an easternly track. They do that when they get strong, and that's what's happening here. We'll have to continue to see what happens. I will tell you, and I said it earlier, and I'm afraid it may be the case, these two cells are competing against each other at this point. There is likely going to be a cell merger. That happens, we often can see a brief weakening trend, before the southernmost cell often just takes over and it becomes the most dominant cell. That's going to put a lot of that activity in parts of western Washington County. Right now, however, at this moment, despite the fact that those cells are trying to compete a little bit, we have a very, very strong area of rotation just to the northeast of Christie, west of Westville. Let's go tight on this. Let's
It
get
is
an idea.
crossing highway. It is on top of Highway 59 as we speak.
Okay, let's get an let's zoom in on
We're
that.
going to get
real
an
tight.
update here soon, but it is the debris signature
Yeah.
at last check. It's a little behind. It's
Of
lagging
course.
here, but it is on Highway 59.
These storms are outpacing the radar this afternoon, which is unfortunate. So we're basically trying to just stay ahead of it. And so when you see something like here, you got to know it's probably a mile or two down the road at this point. By the time we get the data, here's Smith Road. I'm going to turn around. It's West Cincinnati Road. My eyes are just not well for this. It's going to be going into Cincinnati real soon. Folks in Cincinnati, Washington County, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to your community. You've been through a tornado before. I know it was just a few years ago. This is a strong and very concerning situation. Radar estimates now, brand new information to pass along to you, anticipate that was at least an EF3 at one point. So I was telling you it was EF2, got some more data in, and now the Weather Service telling us that it was likely at least an EF3. They'll get on the ground and confirm it by tomorrow, but based off of radar returns, how strong the winds were, how tight the couplet was, and how high the debris was lofted up into the air, likely an EF3 storm. Looks a little bit weaker at the moment as those two cells begin to compete and they try to merge a little bit. This is our concern right now, right on top of 59, pushing off towards the east. We are essentially on the Oklahoma-Arkansas state line with a large and violent tornado that is going to continue, likely moving into Washington County. Boy, oh boy, that is a sign if I've ever seen one.
Yep.
Zach's looping it. This is a very concerning signal. If you live in the Weddington community, maybe along 244, here's 62, right? Let's go ahead and be in those safe locations right now. Siloam, you're continuing to be in the warning. The way this continues to push, okay, looks like they're updating the warning.
Still considerable and confirmed.
Confirmed tornado on the ground. Looks like Siloam's still technically in it, but I think this passes just barely off to your south, okay? Far too close for comfort for us, but right off to the south of Siloam. Here's Cincinnati. Here's going to be Rennie Road, Weddington. This is moving your area very, very quickly. The time's now, okay? Zach's putting up some times here. Colony Community Church at 4:10, Nicodemus Community Church 4:13, Norwood Church 4:14, Outreach Center Church 4:15, Weddington Church at 4:18. Right now, time is currently 4:02. We have a large and violent tornado on the ground, Adair County, Oklahoma. It's right on the Oklahoma-Arkansas state line, getting ready to move into extreme southwestern Washington, northwestern Benton County. At any moment, it is going to be passing very, very, very close to the Siloam Springs community. You've got a second area of rotation near Christie that's going to move back into the Westville area that has already been hard hit. This radar data, I'm thinking it might be just slightly delayed there, just a little bit.
It's giving us some trouble.
I think we're basically at this point we're on the state line. We're very well potentially in Washington County.
Looking at the GR analysts on the side, we are right on the state line.
Okay, yeah, I have no doubt believing that. This storm's getting its act together. It was already really strong, and it's certainly continuing to show signs of that. I suspect at any moment, given this, we're going to see an additional tornado warning extended further into Benton and Washington County. Winds gusting at 76 miles per hour out of Westville right now. That second
That's
storm,
impressive.
yeah, that really is. It's a really strong wind gust. That's enough to do a little bit of damage, tornado or not. Okay.
I've got the debris signature. I want to point out, again, we're not able to show it right now as we're getting new data in. And I'll try here in just a second. Some good news. What I'm seeing on radar over here to the side is that maybe the debris signature is weakened a little bit. The storm may be cycling. We've seen it do that multiple times, so we're going to have to continue to watch. Is the southern storm starting to impact it a little bit more? It may have been. I think it was right in the boundary of the southern storm a little bit more. Maybe the forward flank downdraft coming in a little bit on the south side of it. Regardless, it obviously spiked up there. Now it's getting a little messier, right? We're not seeing that hook just out there as freely as it once was, more out on its own.
Right.
Wonder if the southern storm is starting to impact it, which means we're going to certainly have to watch the southern one a little bit. And then we just got this into, you mentioned this about 10 minutes, 15 minutes
Hey there,
ago,
it's
Max.
Josh.
The storm down in Sequoia County. mesocyclone developing on that. So basically, we're seeing some rotation. For you at home, we're seeing some rotation on that southern storm. I think we're going to see a lot of storms rotating here over the next few hours, coming out of Oklahoma into Arkansas. We certainly have to watch these two, the west storm starting to impact it a little bit more. Again, now seeing the rotation is on the Arkansas side. Still a debris signature there. It is coming in a little bit on the south side. Some. The storm may be cycling a little bit. It certainly possibly could still have a lower end tornado warning.
Now it's getting a
I'm going
little
to go back and look at rotation. There's certainly a signal of it there. I suspect this area of rotation is actually now in the parts of western Washington County. I think it's crossed the line. I think this tornado is outrunning the Doppler radar. I think the data is getting logged down. I think it's a delay just a little bit.
Got this into. You mentioned this about
if
10
there's
minutes.
any good news,
Hey there, it's Josh.
I don't want anyone to hear me
down in
and say and think that I'm telling you that we're not having a tornado in Washington or Benton County. I think that southernmost cell that's lagging behind just a little bit by a few miles back towards the southwest is undercutting this guy right here. Hopefully that can weaken it right now, but I'm telling you, I still see a debris signature crossing that Oklahoma-Arkansas state line. And at one point, that debris signature was so strong, it likely was supporting the potential of an EF3 tornado. So it's going to take a little bit for that to actually weaken. And even though you've got that cell interaction weakening the northernmost storm, we're still in an environment that is highly conducive. Highly conducive.
So with this latest image, just to the southeast of Watts, I've got a newer image over here to the side. If there is a tornado on the ground, it is in southwestern Benton County, right along the highway there, storm down crossing the highway.
And think that I'm telling you that we're not having a tornado in Washington, Benton County. I think that southernmost cell that's
right along the highway,
by a few miles back towards the southwest is undercutting this guy right
so
here.
it'd be just to the southeast of Lake Francis.
I'm telling you,
certainly have to watch out where it's just to the east maybe of the Lake Francis.
Fisher Ford Road, Spring Harbor Road, Lake Francis Road, Long Farm Road, Woodfield Church Road, and Morris Farm Road.
So it's going to take a little bit for that to actually weaken.
59 in the Arkansas side.
Cell interaction weakening the
storm there.
Okay, Zach, I need to do a statewide area-wide reset. There's a lot going on. The situation continues to unfold, and I'm afraid we have a new tornado warning.
With this latest image, just to the southeast of Watts, I've got a new
we have our storm chaser heading towards the west. Folks up in the booth, I need to know that we have eyes on that storm chaser. New tornado warning for Sequoia County, southern Adair County. This is the cell we pointed out a little bit ago that's rapidly developing a mesocyclone. It's a big fancy word for it's starting to rotate. Okay, we've got rotation in Sequoia County just south of 40. Zach, if we could, let's take a look at that specific cell as that moves Fisher Ford Road, that general direction. We've got crews that are already examining some tornado debris damage from earlier. That's going to take a position to get us on watch inside the Sallisaw storm. Sallisaw, brushy, just in I need to buy in. We had area indicated tornado that includes the towns of Atkins. We have new tornadoes in the rotation is right in this general vicinity. Now moving on towards the north and east. Here's going to be Interstate 40 moving close to Sallisaw. The ignitions also included in this warning. Brushy also included in Brent, community of Brent County, southern Adair County. This is the cell. Let's go ahead and take shelter if included in that warning. That specific warning for Adair and Sequoia counties, primarily that is going to impact Sequoia for the medium term. That's going to be moving northeast 35 miles per hour. The warning itself is set to expire 4:45 in the direction. We've got crew for that one. Already examining some tornado damage to be a concern for us.
Rotation would be directly west of Sallisaw. Just got a new scan. So if there is a tornado, it would have likely just crossed I-40 and now is moving off towards the northeast edge.
Right. Okay. We have a wall cloud being moving by chaser to the west. It's going to be Sallisaw 40 moving close to Sallisaw. We do have ignition rotation close to Sallisaw. This is our live storm chaser right here. This is Highway 100. Is that correct? Let's go ahead and take show 100 suited in that warning. That specific warning for Adair and Sequoia counties. Exactly what they're saying. They're in Gore. These folks are in Gore, Highway 100 miles per hour. The likely tornado damage moved through that area earlier this afternoon. We've got those things up there. That one idea of what's happening. Looks like they're in a decent position to be a concern for us to see the backside of our storm here.
I think we have
this is going to be for Benton and Washington counties. Let's go ahead and take an area-wide look at that specific storm. Okay, this is going to be for our northernmost storms right here. This is going to be for western, southwestern Benton, northwestern Washington County. This does include Prairie Grove, it includes Fayetteville, it includes a large majority of Springdale, as well as Highfield and Gentry. A strong area of rotation has produced a large and destructive tornado beginning to move towards the north and east. The area of rotation we see right here is pretty much just to the east of the state line. I think this radar data is a little bit old.
It is. It's southeast of Silent Springs.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think this area of rotation where you expect was is actually more likely to backside in this area. So here's 412. Folks in Farmington are going to go ahead and take shelter immediately. The storm is moving in the direction. Silent Springs, we're looking off towards the south and east, and we can find a strong area of rotation. Don't want you to go back outside though. Don't want you to go back outside and look at it. It's going to be, in fact, it would be tough to see from your side just given how much rain is in Washington County does in specific storms. So let's back it up just a little bit.
We're getting old data, but it would be just to the southeast of Silent Springs. It is just south of Highway 412. I'm going to pull up some roads here on the side and try to get a little bit better idea for you.
Area of rotation, 4 miles southeast of Silent Springs, east of the state line. This radar data 4 miles southeast of Silent Springs. It doesn't surprise me at all to get that report in, just given how strong this rotation was when it was producing likely EF3 tornado. It's maintaining itself. Here's 412. As it moves into southwestern, take shelter anywhere within that northwestern Washington, Silent Springs, Benton County area, likely in fact of this specific storm. Exact circling where we expect
Highway 16.
Right along Highway 16. It's going to be passing 412. It's going to be really close to us. Okay, if you live anywhere near the airport out there, there's got to be some shelter. Back it up just a little bit.
Yeah, it's moving to the east-northeast. Just to the south. Rotation tracker has picked up, but the debris signature, I'm going backwards here. Time has continued to weaken. That was the trend that we talked about. It doesn't appear right now that we've made, I'm not seeing, at least looking at it, the debris like we had been using in Oklahoma. I'm not seeing the same kind of signature that we were seeing there just to the northeast now of Highway 16, getting ready to cross Highway 412.
Okay, so we have multiple tornado warnings south Springs. We've got one for Benton, we've got one for Washington, we've got one for Adair, we've got one for Sequoia.
Highway 16.
Probably going to have more before the night's over. The event is just now beginning. Okay, we're at the early stage. These storms are moving into an area. We've got an environment that's very, very, very favorable.
Yeah, it's moving to the east-northeast.
It can happen quickly. This one specifically is moving into southeastern Benton County, likely a tornado on the ground. Southeast of Silent Springs has been on the ground at one point was an EF3.
It doesn't appear right now that preliminary data. I'm not seeing, at least
at this moment it's that strong, but I do suspect it likely have. Doesn't surprise me a violent tornado probably on the ground at any moment. I do believe there might be some Florida cams along 412.
Highway 412.
Cam expert Darren Bob's in. Darren, if you can post it over there on what you're seeing. Looks like we might just to the south of Westville have an additional area of rotation. That's not as strong as it was, but it's still certainly concerning for us. I really thought the southernmost cell was going to take over and become more dominant. The science says that's going to happen, but it's not taking place into its area. We continue to see this northernmost cell. Here's the bend from Washington County for context. In fact, I'm going to walk back over this one, Fayetteville, here's Springdale. Here's 412. This Town's right here. Tornado just off towards the west-southwest. This is exactly where we expect the storm's been on the ground. We've got Springdale cameras, Rogers cameras. Point those to the west, please. I think we might be able to see something from our Springdale camera. If you point Rogers towards the southwest, we might be able to have a pretty good vantage point around that specific cell. I do believe it might be some Florida cams. Okay, along 412. Holiday and looking west. Okay, that's going to be just on the left side there. Okay, keep an eye on that.
Also, I do want to say too, I think this new tornado warning for Benton and Washington County, and forgive me if you said this is going to be for both of those areas of circulation. So instead of having the two separate warnings, they've just gone ahead and brought it out enough to account for those two areas of circulation.
Okay, that's likely where we see the worst of the rotation right now. Southeast of Silent Springs. I'm seeing a little bit of a lowering. It's tough to see here from the Springdale camera. Keep an eye on that. We've got some back up in the booth, and I know you will. Keep scanning. If you'll do some sector scans, keep looking back off towards the southwest. Punch it back towards the northeast at times. Make sure we don't find that lowering. It looks like a very well could be. Rogers, the new Rogers camera we got there in Mercy Northwest. We can also point that back. Holiday and look down that direction as well. Let's go take a look at the debris tracker. We do have multiple tornado warnings.
Also,
the
I
newest
do
one
want to say too, I think
includes
this new tornado warning for
Benton County. You've also got one for Sequoia and South.
This is going to be for both of those areas of
under the gun for the last several hours, and I know you folks are sick of it. We are 42. Hopefully, we can continue to see this stuff. I'm afraid we're probably likely where we see the worst of the outbreak. South west of town, southeast crossing I-40. I'm seeing a little bit of pushing towards the north. It's not as as strong as the other cameras of rotation. So at this moment, keep an eye on that. I think we probably have something trying to develop, but at this moment, some sector scans, train spotter reporting a tornado. It's going to be northeast of Lake Francis, there in Benton County. Highway 16, debris being wafted into the air. Storm spotter reporting a tornado crossing Highway 16. Let's go take this is going to be the Illinois River camera. Multiple tornado warnings. Very top of the screen, maybe a little bit of lowering. Hard to tell what's actually
Yeah, well, this is that report is just verifying the track that we've been watching. And again, here over to the side, using some of our other data areas, I'm seeing that tornado signature would be right on top of 412 right now to the east of Siloam Springs, but crossing over Highway 412. That's where we have the rotation, and that's where it is. It is still heading off towards the northeast, so down the line, heads up to us, and Rogers, there you go. That's the latest imagery.
That's tornado is probably just to the east of Siloam Springs, right along 412. Debris generally moving towards the east-northeast, so I do think that's going to put us relatively close to Tontitown. This is going to be eventually, if this doesn't weaken, very well with some issues in parts of Rogers and Lowell, maybe perhaps Springdale in the next few minutes, watching the secondary area of rotation back off towards the southwest, moving through parts northwestern Washington County. It's not as tightly wound up as it once was, but it is still a very concerning system.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm continuing to see some weakening here. I think even these next scans, this just came in as it's crossing Highway 412. Velocity certainly is still there, but it does look weaker to me, and I'm not seeing the debris signature that we once saw. It is continuing to weaken. Now, that being said, with the storm that we had, if it was as strong as we believe it was, that could certainly carry debris for a long time. We'd have leaves and things like that. So we could still get reports of maybe some debris falling from the sky, some of the lighter material. But right now, I am seeing a little bit of a weakening trend. We're not going to be fooled by this, Scott, though. We know these storm cycles. We've seen it do it. It's done it tonight. So we are going to continue to prepare as if it is going to reorganize, retighten, and give us another tornado. We're also watching that. Again, I'm continuing to see not too impressive with velocity, but looking on reflectivity just to the north of Summers and just to the east of Highway 59. I am seeing a little bit of a hook there, a little bit of a notch, and you can see that with the velocity. It's there, it's trying to tighten, and it's in an environment where it could do it at any moment.
Let's take a look at our Holiday Inn camera. This is going to be looking from our Springdale camera on top of the Holiday Inn. I've got it pointed off towards the west. Okay, can we point it slightly to the right or towards the north? Definitely can see the lowering of that wall cloud right there. Let's keep our eyes focused on that. At times, I'm afraid it's probably going to become rain wraps. So there very well could be something making contact with the ground right now, and we're just not able to make it out. But I can definitively tell you there is an absolute wall cloud right along 412 moving towards the east-northeast. Tontitown, you folks got to get to shelter right now. This storm has a history of producing a large and violent tornado in it. While it is showing some signs of weakening at the moment, not enough to give me any reason for comfort. I think right now we have a very concerning system getting ready to move into parts of the heart of northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, absolutely. Still looking at the tornado warned storm down in Sequoyah County. We are watching that one. Potential rotation there is to the north of Salisal, just to the west of Brushy. Latest scans here, seeing a little bit brighter colors showing up on velocity. May see this storm's trying to tighten up a little bit, certainly producing some gusty winds out there right now. That is heading to the northeast. That would be moving into southwestern Adair County. That would be making a movement towards Greasy, then eventually Cherry Hill, Salem, Stillwell, all further down the line, but within the path of this area of rotation in this tornado warned storm.
No question about it. Let's go down to that southern supercell. It looks like a little bit more of a hook trying to develop out there. This one's not moving very quickly. This specific tornado warning runs till 4:45 for parts of Sequoyah, southern LaFleur County. Aikens, Brushy, Cherry Tree, Greasy, you're included in the path of this storm. We do have some areas of rotation, just not as strong as it once was earlier. That's not to say that it might not pulse up really quickly. In fact, the Weather Service telling me it is moving into an environment highly favorable for the potential of development of a tornado. Let's see.
I think the radar kind of dropped out a little bit there because the storm is west, just to the west of Brushy.
Looking at all of our cameras across the area, we have an expansive camera network, and it does look like we might be seeing Lowering there on the west side, west of Springdale, so getting close to Taneytown. Let's go back to Washington County. I'm seeing something else that I'm very curious about, just to the west. So this is going to be looking towards the north end of that cell.
Rotation is still there. It's weak, and if we do have a tornado or a funnel or anything like that, it is to the southwest of Springtown, to the southwest of Highfield. But like you said, it is back there in the rain. That's where the best rotation is showing up, back into the rain curtain. So like you said, we may still see the lowering on the front edge of it, but the tornado, if it's there, it's hidden out in the back.
I think that rotation right now at this point is very close to X and A. We're talking Highfield. I think it's very close to Centerton at this moment. It's there, maybe not as strong as it once was. Maybe this is where that southernmost cell is finally starting to get its act together and undercut the northernmost cell.
And now the extended outlook for the period Tuesday.
Situation unfolding as this storm moves into parts of Benton County.
No hazard.
We do have a tornado warning for parts of
Thursday
northwest
and
Washington
Friday.
County.
Thunderstorm potential.
Some interactions going on.
Saturday and Sunday. No hazard.
Southernmost cell.
Extended discussion. Another strong system will affect the area during the latter part of the week, bringing additional chances for thunderstorms.
Out there for us as well. But right
These
now,
storms may pose a limited threat for severe weather, although some uncertainties persist in how large that threat will be.
Area of rotation.
Weather.gov/. Also contains additional information.
Right here. Strong area of rotation.
Flood advisory in effect until 5 p.m. Central Standard Time this afternoon.
Let's do the life of it so
What
we can show
flooding
folks,
caused by
yeah, you see
excessive
the green and
rainfall
red,
is expected,
but compared to
where
what we were seeing,
portions of east central and northeast Oklahoma, including the following counties: in east central Oklahoma, Oak Fusqueen; in northeast
and so we're
Oklahoma,
not seeing that
Oak
kind of
Mulgee;
signature now. Now the fact that
when
we're seeing
until 5 p.m.
just
Central
greens coming
Standard
together,
Time.
but a lot lighter.
Minor flooding in low-lying and poor drainage areas.
At the moment.
Additional details at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Doppler radar indicated heavy rain due to thunderstorms. Minor flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly in the advisory area. Between 0.5 and 1 inch of rain has fallen on already saturated soils. Additional rainfall amounts of 0.5 to 1 inch are expected over the area. This additional rain will result in minor flooding. Some locations that will experience flooding include Oak Mulgee, Oak Kima, Oak Fusqueen, Henrietta, Morris, Bex, Waletka, Newark, Schulter, Grayson, Bearden, Clearview, Oak Mulgee State Park, Faro, Preston, Bald Hill, Bryant. http://www.weather.gov/safety flood turnaround. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Repeating, a flood advisory has been issued until 5 p.m. Central Standard Time for the following counties: in Oklahoma, Oak Fusqueen and Oak Mulgee. Flood advisory in effect until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time this evening. What flooding caused by excessive rainfall is expected? Where portions of east central, northeast, and southeast Oklahoma, including the following counties: in east central Oklahoma, Cherokee, Muskogee, and Sequoia; in northeast Oklahoma, Adair, Craig, Delaware, Mays, Nowata, Oak Mulgee, Ottawa, Rogers, and Wagoner; in southeast Oklahoma, McIntosh; when until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Impact: minor flooding in low-lying and poor drainage areas. Additional details at 3:31 p.m. Central Standard Time. Doppler radar indicated heavy rain due to thunderstorms. Minor flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly in the advisory area. Additional rainfall amounts of 0.5 to 1.5 inches and locally higher are expected over the area. This additional rain will result in minor flooding.
No, you're fine.
Some locations that will experience flooding include Broken Arrow, Muskogee, Claremore, Tahlequah, Miami, Sallisaw, Wagoner, Geneva, Stilwell, Nowata, Jay, Pryor, Coweta, Pryor Creek, Catoosa, Grove, Fort Gibson, Verdigris, Muldrow, Shakota, http://www.weather.gov/
Farmington, Fayetteville, Johnson in this
flood
tornado warning.
turnaround.
But as it
Home
looks
ground
right
and
now,
encountering flooded roads.
circulations that we're tracking.
Most
they
flood
stay
deaths
just off
occur in
the
vehicles. Heavily terrain middle hundreds of low water crossings which are potentially dangerous in heavy rain. Do not attempt to cross flooded roads. Find an alternate route. Repeating, a flood advisory has been issued until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the following counties in Oklahoma: Adair, Cherokee, Craig, Delaware, Mays, McIntosh, Muskogee, Nowata, Okmulgee, Ottawa, Rogers, Sequoia, and Wagoner. Tornado watch number 704 remains in effect until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for the following counties in Oklahoma: Adair, Atoka, Bryan, Cherokee, Choctaw, Delaware, Haskell, Latimer, LaFleur, McIntosh, Muskogee, Ottawa, Pittsburgh, Pushmataha, and Sequoia. Remember, a tornado watch means the conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather, including tornadoes, large-scale and damaging winds in and close to the watch area. While severe weather may not be imminent, persons should remain alert for rapidly changing weather conditions and listen for later statements and possible warnings. Stay tuned to NOAA weather radio, commercial radio and television outlets, or internet sources for the latest severe weather information. Flood watch now in effect until 9 p.m. Central Standard Time this evening. What? Flooding caused by excessive rainfall continues to be possible. Where? Portions of east central, northeast, and southeast Oklahoma, including the following counties in east central Oklahoma: Cherokee, in northeast Oklahoma, Delaware and Ottawa, in southeast Oklahoma, Choctaw, Haskell, and Pushmataha.
Radar there a little bit, but it's doing a better job.
Until 9 p.m. Central Standard Time this
Everything
evening.
I'm seeing over to the side is it is just
Excessive runoff may result in flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations. Additional details: heavy rainfall of 1 to 3 is expected this afternoon and evening.
It was
http://www.weather.gov/
every scan that I've seen has come
flood.
back.
You should monitor later forecasts and be alert for possible flood warnings.
There is some spin in the atmosphere.
Those living in areas prone to flooding should be prepared to take action should flooding develop. Repeating, the flood watch has been extended until 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for the following counties in Oklahoma: Cherokee, Choctaw, Delaware, Haskell, Ottawa, and Pushmataha. Flood watch remains in effect until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time this evening. What? Flooding caused by excessive rainfall continues to be possible. Where? Portions of east central, northeast, and southeast Oklahoma, including the following counties in east central Oklahoma: Muskogee and Okmulgee. In northeast Oklahoma: Craig, Creek, Mays, Nowata, Okmulgee, Osage, Pawnee, Rogers, Tulsa, Wagoner, and Washington OK. In southeast Oklahoma: McIntosh and Pittsburgh. When? Until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time this evening. Impacts: excessive runoff may result in flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations. Additional details: heavy rainfall of 0.50 inches -3 is expected this afternoon and evening. http://www.weather.gov/
Washington County storm
safety flash
is just a
flood. You should monitor later forecasts and be alert for possible flood warnings.
into
Those
Washington
living in
County. That's where
areas
that
prone to
area is.
flooding
Circulation
should
is
be prepared
very
to take
broad at this
action should
time.
flooding develop.
Is there, and actually looking at
Repeating,
one of the
a
latest
flood
scans,
watch
the
remains
side
in
rotation
effect
tracker
until
has
6
dropped off
p.m.
a little bit
Central
more on
Standard
that one
Time
too.
for the
So
following
we
counties.
certainly got some hooks
In
that we're watching
Oklahoma,
on radar.
Craig,
We've
Creek,
got some areas of
Mays,
spin that we know about,
McIntosh,
but
Muskogee,
overall,
Nowata,
China's
Okfuskee,
two more pronounced areas we
Okmulgee,
tracked out of
Osage,
Oklahoma into
Pawnee,
Arkansas.
Pittsburgh,
Odd weekend.
Rogers,
Tornado
Tulsa,
warning does
Wagner, and
continue, though,
Washington.
for Benton and Washington County.
This is NOAA
We've got
Weather
those
Radio
storms off
Station
towards the southwest that we'll have
KH-27
to
in
continue to
Tulsa.
watch and see
These
as they move into this
broadcasts
environment.
originate from the National Weather
Yeah,
Service
looks like we're
Forecast
getting an
Office in
update on that
Tulsa.
tornado warning.
Yeah, that's right.
Transmitting facilities are located in northeast Oklahoma and serve metropolitan Tulsa and surrounding
You can
areas.
see those that are still included.
The following is a summary of watches, warnings, and advisories in
West
effect.
side of
The
Springdale.
Tulsa area,
Rotation
including
enough
much
that
of
they're not
northeast
canceled.
Oklahoma.
Radar
A
indicator.
severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until noon Central Standard Time for the following counties: Creek, Oklahoma. A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued until 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for the following counties: Creek, Oklahoma. A severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for the following counties: in Oklahoma, Creek, Osage, Pawnee, and Tulsa. A flood watch remains in effect until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for the following counties: in Oklahoma, Cherokee, Creek, Mays, Muskogee, Okmulgee, Osage, Pawnee, Rogers, Tulsa, Wagner, and Washington. Tornado watch number 704 has been issued until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for the following counties: in Oklahoma, Cherokee, Creek, Mays, Muskogee, Okmulgee, Osage, Pawnee, Rogers, Tulsa, Wagner, and Washington. The current time is 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 4 p.m. at the Tulsa International Airport, it was cloudy. The temperature was 62, dew point 61, relative humidity 96%. The wind was north at 8, the pressure was 29.64 inches and steady. Around Oklahoma this hour, in Oklahoma City, it was cloudy with a temperature of 66. In Bartlesville, light rain was falling with a temperature of 63.
Take a look at rotation
In
tracker.
McAllister, a thunderstorm was reported with a temperature of 67. In Ponca City, it was partly sunny with a temperature of 67.
Right here near Christie and
At the
Westville.
Sand Springs Airport, it was cloudy with a temperature of 65. At the Tulsa Riverside Airport, it was cloudy with a temperature of 64. In Tahlequah, light rain was falling with a temperature of 66. In Muskogee, a thunderstorm was reported with a temperature of 67. Around the region, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, a thunderstorm was reported with a temperature of 66.
That's our two warnings
In
at the
Kansas
moment.
City,
We'll see
light
what's
rain
going
was
on.
falling with a
Looks to be bit
temperature of
low activity
63.
current
In
time.
Joplin, a thunderstorm was reported with a temperature of 66.
We'll take another
In
look.
Springfield, it was cloudy with a temperature of 67.
Radar returns.
In Wichita, it was partly sunny with a temperature of 64.
Although, you get into
In Fort Smith,
Washington
it was
County,
partly sunny with a
Tulsa
temperature of 80.
Messy little signal there.
And in
Rotation's
Fayetteville,
just not
it was
as
partly
impressive as
sunny
it
with a
was.
temperature of
This is
74.
the best news we've had all night.
Once again,
Now to the
in northeast Oklahoma, temperatures were between 62 and 67 degrees. In Muskogee, a thunderstorm was reported of 67. In Bartlesville, rain was falling.
It's enough that we're going
It
to
was cloudy at Tulsa International Airport and Tulsa Riverside Airport.
at the moment enough to
The forecast
result
for
in damage.
the Tulsa area, including much of northeast
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
looking at the storm that's
Tonight,
moved out of
mostly
Sequoia County,
cloudy.
rotation just past over
Showers
the
and
Breezy area,
thunderstorms
heading towards
likely,
Cherry Tree
mainly this
is
evening.
There.
Cooler with
Looking
lows
back
in the
at
lower
rotation
50s.
tracker, it is
Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts up to 20 miles per hour.
Weaker again, but that
Chance
rotation
of rain
heading towards
70%.
Cherry Tree.
Tuesday,
And then
partly
eventually
sunny.
Zion down the road.
Cooler with
Looks like
highs in
right
the
now
lower
it's safe
60s.
on this track. It might
West
say
winds 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts up to 20 miles per hour.
You are still under a tornado
Tuesday
warning.
night,
There
mostly
in
clear.
Adair County, from Breezy
Lows
up
in the
towards
lower
Cherry Tree
40s.
to the south of Stillwell.
East winds
Tornado
around 5
precautions to
miles
be ready
per
to go
hour.
here. If this storm
Wednesday,
spins up,
sunny.
again, the environment
Highs in the upper
absolutely
60s.
conducive for these storms to be able to do
Southeast
so.
winds around
We've seen
5
multiple
miles per hour.
tornado warnings in eastern Oklahoma.
Wednesday night,
We've had a few
mostly
now in
clear.
Arkansas.
Lows
We've
in the
had some
upper
just to
40s.
the east of Logan County.
Northeast
a couple
winds
hours
around
ago.
5
Just
miles
had
per
one
hour.
in Yell County. That was a
Thursday,
confirmed
mostly
tornado.
sunny.
All of western
Highs
Arkansas,
in the
all
upper
of eastern
60s.
Oklahoma is in an unstable
Thursday night,
environment.
mostly
We've got a lot of
cloudy.
lift. We've got a lot
A
of
chance
spin
of
in the
showers with
atmosphere.
a slight chance of thunderstorms in the evening. Then a chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight.
Plenty of it. That's
Lows
why it's
in the
been so
lower
warm and
50s.
humid, especially across the southern
Chance of
half of
rain
the area.
50%.
Our temperatures today, again, guys,
Friday,
80 degrees,
mostly
dew points in the
cloudy with a
70s. That is
slight
very
chance of
tropical
thunderstorms.
air any time of year,
A
let
chance of
alone
showers.
in November.
Highs
As that
in the
points out the
mid-60s.
volatile environment that we are
Chance
still
of
in
rain
over the next few
50%.
hours. Want to let you know that
Friday
right now
night,
we're
showers
simulcasting
likely.
live across all
A slight
radio
chance of
stations.
thunderstorms in the evening.
Really proud of our
Then a
iHeartRadio
chance of
partnership. We're
thunderstorms
also streaming
after
live on
midnight.
5+. We're on
Lows
Facebook
around
Live,
50.
on YouTube Live.
Chance
We're
of
on
rain
mobile
70%.
app. If you lose power,
Saturday,
if you need to
mostly
seek shelter
sunny.
tonight, all of
A
those
chance of
ways,
showers,
you can take
mainly
us
in the
with you.
morning.
Maybe
Highs in the mid-60s.
until the threat passes.
Chance of rain
right
40%.
Now, rotation getting
Saturday
closer to
night,
Bentonville
mostly
isn't
clear.
very strong.
Lows
Now,
in the lower
given
40s.
The environment, how
Sunday,
favorable it is,
sunny.
and the storm fuel, and how much
Highs in
wind
the
shear that's
mid-60s.
in the air.
Sunday
I wouldn't let my
night,
guard
mostly
down.
clear.
So I think that's why the weather service
Lows in
isn't
the
against them
mid-40s.
this morning early. In fact, it's set to
Veterans
expire
Day,
at
sunny.
4:45. And they're not
Highs in the upper
expiring.
60s.
That, to me, tells us that
And now the
you know what,
hazardous
still a
weather
pretty dangerous
outlook.
situation. Looks like
Issued
we
at
might be able to see,
5:33 a.m. Central
leading edge of
Standard
that
Time.
cell.
They do not
Severe
trust what
thunderstorms
it is.
expected today.
They do not trust the
This
environment.
outlook
That
is
this
from
storm-
northwest and west central Arkansas,
It's
as
messy.
well as
The
much of
storms are messy,
eastern
but with
Oklahoma.
the history that these storms
For today and tonight.
produce the strong tornado
Tornado.
for sure. In
Risk
eastern Oklahoma,
elevated.
it seemed like it certainly
Area,
carried into
eastern Oklahoma
western
and
Arkansas,
northwest
parts of
Arkansas onset,
Washington,
mid to
extreme
late
northwestern
morning.
Washington County, far
Severe
southwest of Bibb
thunderstorm.
County.
Risk
With that
elevated.
kind of tornado that it potentially
Area,
produced there,
eastern Oklahoma and
it's
northwest
just hard to walk
Arkansas.
away from. Sometimes if the
Onset,
storm pulses
ongoing.
up, it's got some rotation,
Flash flood.
and then it just doesn't really
Risk
materialize. We're not
elevated.
getting any heads ups on
Area, eastern
funnel or
Oklahoma and
spotters aren't
northwest
verifying anything.
Arkansas.
They'll let
Onset,
warning know
ongoing.
when they have the history that
Heavy
this
rain.
storm has in the
Risk
environment that it's moving
significant.
into. Hard to walk away from.
Area, eastern
All
Oklahoma
right, this
and
is my number here,
northwest Arkansas.
479-785-5000.
Onset,
We've been getting
ongoing.
your reports, your photos, your
Significant
videos,
winds.
and we appreciate you.
Risk
Here's
limited.
our number. Save it in your contacts. Send me a
Area,
message
eastern
anytime.
Oklahoma and
But
northwest
do me a favor.
Arkansas.
Please don't put yourself in harm's way.
Onset,
I don't want your photo.
ongoing.
It's going to put you.
Discussion. Early this morning, a warm front was located across far southeast Oklahoma from just north of McAllister to south of Worcester. This boundary will live north of the warm front this morning, with all or nearly all of eastern Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas in the warm sector by midday.
The
The front of the shower and thunderstorm activity this morning will remain north of the retreating frontal boundary. While an isolated strong or severe storm will be possible this morning, the greater threat will be locally heavy rainfall, potentially leading to some flooding issues due to saturated ground from 2 days of heavy rainfall.
Okay, this one here
A surface
from
low will
Alex.
move northeast into central Oklahoma by midday today, and will then deepen slightly as it lifts northeast into eastern Kansas this evening. A moist and unstable air mass will be in place across our forecast area this afternoon, and any discrete storms that develop in the warm sector will have high severe weather potential, including the threat of tornadoes, possibly strong. A line of storms is expected to form south of the surface, low along a dry line later this morning, and this line will enter the western part of our forecast area by early to mid-afternoon. The line will then sweep rapidly east across the area through early evening. Damaging winds will be the main severe weather threat with a squall line, with isolated QLCS-type tornadoes also quite possible. The severe weather threat will end later this evening once the squall line clears the area. Spotter and emergency management action statement. Activation of the regional spotter network likely.
Siloam Springs.
And now the extended outlook for the period Tuesday through Sunday.
Siloam Springs.
Tuesday and Wednesday, no hazards.
Sheltering in place for the
Thursday
time
and
being.
Friday,
That's
thunderstorm
probably a
potential.
really wise move.
Saturday
School
and
district
Sunday,
telling
no
folks at 5
hazards.
News that please don't come pick up
Extended
your children. I
discussion.
suspect they'll
Another
be
storm system will affect the area during the latter part of the week, bringing additional chances for
Let's go back
thunderstorms.
into northwest Arkansas.
These storms may pose a limited threat for severe weather, although some uncertainties persist in how large that threat will be.
About 6-7 minutes
Weather.gov
before that order is
flash
either going to have to be reissued,
also
extended,
contains
provided
additional
by some
information.
location just to the west just a bit.
Flood advisory in effect until 5 p.m. Central Standard Time this afternoon. West, flooding caused by excessive rainfall is expected. Where portions of east central and northeast Oklahoma, including the following counties: in east central Oklahoma, up Fusky,